Gondwa. These lands may seem similar to the ones we see today, but they are home to titans. All of these creatures are masters of Earth from prehistory. They are ghosts from the past and should normally have faded and disappeared from history. But life finds a way. Their records keeps them alive, and now they thrive on Gondwa. The ancient kings once again rules the earth. Their stories are written again. The chapter of one story is about to begin. Somewhere, hidden, a new ruler has just been born. Meet Merneith. She is a Spinosaurus, one of largest predator to have ever walked the earth. She is not yet the ruler, but she's finally at the age where she is old enough to claim land through force. On her back is a large sail that can help with her intimidation display. When she is not fighting, it can help her regulate her temperature. She has 2 long arms equipped with dangerous claws that would injure any unfortunate creature at the receiving end. Her teeth might not be the largest among creatures her size, but they are still deadly and are more than capable to end her opponents. In short, a fight with her could be costly. But despite being one of the biggest predatory dinosaur species to have ever lived, it is quite different in comparison to others like the Tyrannosaurus rex.
Oh, hang on. There we go, that is much better. So when the Spinosaurus was first discovered, the paleontologists at the time didn't have much to go off on except a few evidence that they had found. In all honesty, they just threw what they had on the body of a T.rex and called it a day. Today, we obviously know more than we did back then, and the more we learned, the more we just found out just how aquatic the Spinosaurus actually were. With a hydrodynamic shape of a head and a strong paddle-like tail, it could easily make its way through the water. It is likely that it spent most of its time in water, but unlike a crocodile, it still had long enough legs to maneuver quite easily on land. Maybe not the most agile of creature, but to travel from point A to B, it gets the job done.
With a powerful paddle-like tail, Merneith glides smoothly through the water. But to find the perfect location to claim, she must travel up on land. On land, she is put in a dangerous position. Unlike many other predators, On land, she lacks speed. She may be powerful, but even she can be overpowered. She lucks out. She finds a suitable location. Open terrain with small pockets of trees and a lively river nearby. Now she must claim these lands, take it from the previous owner, or in this case, owners. A group of 3 Caprisuchus, belonging to the group Crocodiliform. It is in a lazily explained way a prehistoric cousin of modern-day crocodile. These are the current rulers of this river, and they view Merneith as a threat. Now it is a battle for ownership of this river. With the death of one Caprisuchus, the surviving ones retreats to preserve the lineage. The river from this day forward is under new management. Having healed from her wounds, it is time for Merneith to feast. One would think that a creature of her size would sustain themselves of other large creatures. But her kind has evolved to catch a more slippery kind of prey. Although small, there's many. Quantity over quality.
This is a real tooth of a Spinosaurus aegyptus, narrow but sharp and perfectly adapted to catch slippery fish. The Spinosaurus may not have had the most powerful bite force out of the big carnivores, but it's enough to make sure that whatever comes between the upper and lower jaw will not be able to easily escape. But what is even more fascinating is how the Spinosaurus stays submerged in water. Studies says that the Spinosaurus has osteocleriosis, I probably butchered that pronunciation, but essentially it means that the bone material of the animal is quite dense, making it heavier than how it looks. Some estimate the weight of the Spinosaurus to be 7 to 8 tons, while the other estimation puts it up to 10 to 11 tons. Whatever the weight of the Spinosaurus is irrelevant right now. The point is that with this bone density condition, the Spinosaurus had the ability to control its buoyancy, allowing it to submerge itself in water, and also not just sink to the bottom. The Spino ain't no hippo.
A new scent draws Merneith towards it. It is the stench of death and the killer. In the clearing lies the victim. It is a young Tyrannosaurus Rex. Although just a youngster, it is still highly dangerous. But the causes of concern is not its presence, but whoever killed it. The bite marks on the victim leads to one potential suspect, a full-grown Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Unlike the thinner tooth and long snout of the fish-eating Spinosaurus, the teeth and the jaw of the Tyrannosaurus Rex are thick and evolved perfectly to crush bones. If we're talking about who has the more dangerous bite, then the answer is really obvious. These weapons allow the T.rex to fight other large creatures like the Edmontosaurus, Triceratops, or even other Tyrannosaurus. The Rex was a smart animal, having one of the most evolved brains out of any dinosaurs. A fight to the death was preferred to be avoided, but a fight over territory can get gruesome, often ending in death. Sure, there are times where the animals might tolerate each other's presence, but that is only if it's not mating season and if food and water are abundant. There's a lot of different factors, but usually competitors are not welcome.
This is a major problem for Merneith. A full-grown Tyrannosaurus is not an easy opponent. The river might belong to Merneith, but the land is under joint management. There is only room for one ruler, and having another apex predator close by is not comforting. There will come a day where Merneith is the sole ruler of these lands. Until then, Merneith will wait patiently by the river. The winds carries a new smell. This smell is unfamiliar. A subadult Allosaurus maximus. This young one is most likely looking for a new territory. It is not uncommon for young creatures to travel into others' territory and sometimes challenging its authorities. Readying herself, Merneith walks up to meet the challenger. this young subadult lacks the experience to wisely choose its opponent. For Merneith, this won't be a challenge, just putting a cheeky young adult in their place. The youngster attacks fiercely, trying to utilize its higher speed to gain the upper hand. But Merneith is too strong. The youngster's attacks do little damage. Having understood the differences in power, the challenger flees from the battlefield. Today, Merneith has taught this youngster a valuable lesson. With things calming down, she is visited by another creature. But this one can do whatever it wants in Merneith's territory. An Argentinosaurus. It is one of, if not the largest creature to have ever walked the earth. Nothing has ever come close to their size after they disappeared. It towers over Merneith and can be 10 times her weight. Just by it walking can cause the nearby ground to shake.
The Argentinosaurus belongs to a group of sauropods called titanosaurs, and they were among the largest animals to have ever walked the earth. The only animals to rival or even surpass them in overall mass are modern-day whales, but they don't walk, so the Titanosaurus still keeps the crown of being the largest walking creatures to have ever existed. Although there are debates if the Argentinosaurus was the largest of them all, it is one of the more researched sauropods. And it's among the creatures where we have found enough solid fossil evidence that claiming it to be the largest wouldn't really give you too much critique. Although, for all I know, there might be a titanosaur larger than it, but until I see that definitive paper, I'll just give it the title as the biggest. At the very least, there is one thing that is for certain. A fully grown titanosaur would be too much for any predators to take on by themselves. Being almost 10 times the weight of any of their opponents, nothing comes close to them in terms of raw power. Any of the biggest carnivorous dinosaurs that we know of, the Tyrannosaurus rex, Giganotosaurus, Spinosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, or any of them, if they were alone, they would have no other choice but to pave way for when these titans walked around.
A fully grown Argentinosaurus has few things to worry about. Other herbivores knows this, like this Parasaurolophus. This hadrosaur is a prime target for Merneith, but being close to the Titanosaur makes it a difficult target. Should Merneith display aggressive behavior that close to it, it could turn aggressive towards Merneith. They are accompanied by a Hatzegopteryx, a pterosaur the size of a giraffe. It too knows the danger of being aggressive near the giant. It is a shame to let go of such a perfect meal, but when the situation makes it disadvantageous for you, there's really nothing you can do. Besides, it is risky for Merneith to sustain damage at this moment, for a new threat is running towards her. Close by is a young Acrocanthosaurus. But unlike the youngster from before, this one knows its place. Crouching behind the environment, it awaits for a window of opportunity to leave. But Merneith isn't the only danger to worry about. A group of concavenators, a smaller but speedy carnivore, and can be a real threat when in groups. Like Merneith, they are also semi-aquatic, and they are here to challenge her for the ownership of the river. Merneith doesn't want to give up the river. A fight is inevitable. With sharp claws and teeth, they give Merneith wounds that will bleed over time, eventually weakening her. To minimize its effects, she has to take a defensive stance. To keep her bleeding, they will have to keep attacking her. Merneith awaits her chance. Victory. With one concavenator dead, the rest will not risk any more lives. The river are still under Merneith's control. Merneith wakes up to a new smell, but one that is oddly familiar. A family of Spinosaurus are visiting the river. While there is little that points to Spinosaurus being a social animal, just like modern-day crocodiles, it is likely they would congregate by rivers and tolerate each other's presence, granted there's enough food to go around. Furthermore, Merneith knows that they won't stay for long. This region is unsuitable to raise children. It is too dangerous. And if the other female Spinosaurus were to die, then Merneith has a potential future partner. One day, she too will have children, and the cycle will continue. But right now, she's not after romance. She has still yet to conquer this entire region, and she's about to get that opportunity. There is a new scent permeating throughout the lands. A full-grown adult Tyrannosaurus Rex. It has made a kill, grave mistake. All kills in this region belongs to Merneith. Both are highly territorial. This can only have one outcome. Merneith comes out the victor, damaged and hurt. But wounds will heal, and this victory will serve as a warning to those who dares challenge her authority. With the adult Tyrannosaurus Rex gone, Merneith is now the sole ruler of the entire region. She now basks in the glory of her kingdom, but she can't let down her guard completely. More challenges will arrive, some more dangerous than others. But there is one thing that is for certain. Merneith is ready for them. To all those who wish to challenge her, this is her message. Do it if you dare.